Welcome back to Work It, Live It, Own It. This is the place to be where we strip away the myths about work-life balance to give you practical tools on how to harmonize and thrive in your life and career without losing yourself. And today's episode might shake some things up a little bit. It's going to shake up some things that you've believed about success because we're asking a question almost every woman I know has wrestled with. I've even wrestled with it. And the question is, can I really have it all? Let me tell you, I've seen so many headlines growing up, so many movies out there where you hear quotes, or you might even whisper to yourself, I just want it all. The career, the family, the health, the happiness, the freedom. And even now in newer generations, they're forgoing family for career, for their own personal happiness and their freedom. But here's the question that no one talks about. What does all even mean? And what's the price of chasing it all? Because let's be honest, trying to have it all often leads to invisible pressure, hidden trade-offs, and burnout dressed up as success. And so in this episode, we're going to take a deep dive into the real pros and cons of trying to have it all, the comparison trap that silently is stealing your peace, and how to define your version of all with a simple exercise. That's right. In this episode, you're going to get a little bit of accountability and coaching from me in this episode. And finally, we're going to close out with a mindset shift that will set you free, because by the end of this episode, you're going to walk away with clarity, relief, and a plan to create harmony in this season of your life. So grab your cup of coffee, your tea, take a deep breath. And now let's talk truth about having it all. Let's dive in. So first, I want to start off the episode by giving a shout out and harmony win to Alyssa. Our harmony win this week comes from Alyssa, who shared in our community. Alyssa says that she decided to stop cooking dinner every night and started doing 2 big meal preps instead. And now her evenings are calmer and she has more time to breathe. So shout out to you, Alyssa, wherever you are in your part of the world where you've decided to cut down on cooking dinner every night and doing 2 big meal preps instead, because that's powerful. It's not about doing more. It's about aligning your choices with what matters most. And that's what we're talking about today. And guys, just to give you a heads up, please forgive me. I've been fighting something. So if my voice sounds a little off, that's why. I want to just dive in and talk about why having it all feels so tempting. I mean, this has been going on for decades. So let's rewind a bit. Now, I'm a child of the 80s, and the phrase of having it all became popular during the 1980s when women were breaking into leadership roles into corporate America, and it was marketed as empowerment, which meant career plus family plus health plus happiness equals all. Sounds great, right? But there's a problem. No one ever mentioned the hidden costs, like your time, energy, and sanity. So why does it pull us in so strongly? Well, because it promises control. It whispers, if you can do it all, you can avoid regret. But that's a lie. Take a second and ask yourself, what does having it all mean to me right now? Is it career growth? Is it better health? Or is it more peace at home? Write that down and we'll come back to that later. So again, ask yourself, what does it mean for me to have it all right now? Is it career growth, health, or more peace at home? Now, let's dive into some pros of striving for having it all. Pro or advantage number one could be ambition creates momentum. When you dream big, you push yourself forward. I'm going to give you an example. A friend of mine went back to school while raising kids. It was tough, but now she's thriving in a career that she loves. Another advantage could be expanded identity. You're more than one role. You're a multi-layered, multifaceted individual. And so one of my coaching clients and accountability partners actually started a podcast while working full time. And she said, this was the first time I feel like I'm using my voice, not just my job title. And then another advantage could be confidence boosting. It boosts your confidence. When your all matches your core values, it feels good. And so maybe an example of that could be your all this season is flexible hours and time for your help. That's success, even if it doesn't look like that on Instagram. Now, let's talk about some of the disadvantages or the cons or the hidden cost. So the disadvantage or the hidden cost, number one, could be comparison overload. You start measuring yourself against the curated highlight reels on social media. So like scrolling through Instagram, you see that influencer with the perfect hair, the spotless home, and she's running two businesses. And suddenly you're thinking to yourself, I can even barely keep up with laundry. And truth? The truth, guys, is that more than likely, she's got a team behind the scenes that you don't see. She probably has someone coming in, cleaning her house, helping her to maintain things. She's got people who are helping her scale her business. She is probably out here getting her hair done on a regular basis. But you know what? That costs time. It costs energy. It costs resources and money. Another con or disadvantage could be the invisible pressure. You keep saying yes to things out of guilt. An example of this could be a woman who volunteered for everything, school committees, extra projects, just to show up, just to be seen, just to feel needed, only to end up in the ER with stress-related symptoms. Guys, when they say stress kills, it can kill you. So just be cognizant and be aware of indivisible pressures that you're putting on yourself. It could be individual, but it also can be invisible pressures. And one of the final disadvantages I want to share with you is the trade-offs that no one talks about. Yes, that cost you everything. It's going to or cost you something. And that could look like a mom running a booming business, right? It looks great. She's taking off. Her business is taking off. And later, she's admitted that she hasn't even had a date night with her husband in 6 months. And here is the truth. The more we chase perfection, the less present we become. Let me say that again. The more we chase perfection, the less present we become. Why? Because we're too busy chasing other things. The grass is greener on the other side, and we're barely present in the here and now for ourselves. So why chase perfection? Now, I want to do an interactive exercise with you guys. And this exercise, I'm going to call it Figure Out Your All. And I want to make this as practical and as relatable as possible, because if you don't define what all is for yourself, then the world is going to define it for you. So if you're driving right now, I want you to go ahead and save this episode or download it. But if you are somewhere close by, you're at home, I want you to grab a pen or pause this for later and replay this section. Step one, I want you to define your season. I want you to ask yourself, what season am I in right now? Am I in the season of growth? Am I family focused? Am I in my rejuvenation period, my healing period? Or am I in maintenance season? I'm maintaining. Now, the next step is, once you define your season, I want you to choose your top 3 priorities. If you could only focus on 3 areas for 90 days, what would they be? And I'm going to give you some examples just to get you started. It could be career or your business. It could be health, your relationships, creativity, financial stability. But again, I want you to only focus on, if you can, 3 areas for 90 days. And if you decide what those 3 areas of 90 days are, what would they be? What would they look like? Step 3 is to identify one trade-off, because every yes will cost you something. So I want you to ask yourself, what am I willing to release for now? What am I willing to give up for now? Maybe you're willing to give up a spotless house. Maybe you're willing to give up being available to your clients 24/7. Now, I want you to take a deep breath right here, because that right there, that is your version of all. Write it down and own it. So go back, define your season. What season are you in right now? And choose your top 3 priorities. If you could only focus on 3 for 90 days, what would they be? And then identify that one trade-off. And by asking yourself, what am I willing to release for the moment, for right now? Now listen, guys, comparison whispers. She's doing more. She's looking better. She's ahead. And guys, listen, social media amplifies that voice. But I want you to remember something. If you're seeing her highlight reels and not her trade-offs on social media, then you're not getting the full picture. So why are you comparing yourself to something that looks more like a glossy veneer than the real deal? So whose life are you comparing yours to? And does that life even align with what you want? So the next time you're scrolling through social media or you're looking at other people in real life, ask yourself, who are you comparing your life to? And does that life even align to what you really truly want? And that really goes back to evaluating what you really truly want. So I want you to really focus on that exercise I just gave you to avoid the comparison trap. Now, I also want to give you a boundary check-in. You know, I'm all about healthy boundaries. So let's do a boundary check-in this week. So before you say yes to anything, I want you to ask yourself, am I choosing this from alignment, or am I choosing to say yes to this just for the sake of appearances, just so I can look good or appear good? Do that boundary check-in. Am I choosing this from alignment, or am I choosing this from appearance? And for my people who love journaling, I'm going to give you a journal prompt as well. What does having it all look like for me in this season? And what am I willing to release? So that kind of goes back to the interactive exercise I just gave you, but the interactive exercise dives in a little bit deeper. But for those who love to journal and you really want to journal this out and flesh this out, go ahead, do that. So let's wrap this up, guys. Can you have it all? The answer is yes, you can, but not all at once. And not if your all is built on comparison or cultural pressure. You can have what matters most when you define it for yourself and not allowing the world to define it for you. So if this episode gave you clarity, share it with a friend, leave a review, and I have some exciting things coming up for you guys. But listen, keep working it and living it and owning it every single day of your life. And never forget, you don't have to do it all to have the life you love. Until next time, guys, talk soon. Take care.